Music mother lovers, we are back. 2024, you know what it is. I'm Severo from Severo Music Studios, and for the first time in a while, although we might have catch the last one late last year, we have a guest on the couch. Now, if he looks a bit familiar, you may remember him from the Off Key podcast about 2 years ago.
Yeah, about 2 years.
But I am honored to have back someone who I follow online, and it's just a great honor to have Jason Orpheus.
Thank you for having me back. It's an honor to be here.
The artist himself, Jason Orpheus. Can we say formerly known as?
Formerly known as Naveem. The artist formerly known as.
Man, it's been a while, and how is everything, man?
Well, it has been a while, and I think in the time that I was last here, things have changed a lot for me.
Yeah.
Right now, things are okay. Things are good. I've worked my way toward I would say a more holistic way of handling my artistry and my career.
Right, so let's jump right into it. Jason Orpheus, that wasn't on the title 2 years ago.
No.
Right, so Jason Orpheus, explain to us the change, or as we discussed just a little earlier, it's a rebrand.
It's a rebrand, yeah.
Not a new identity as such.
I would say a little bit of both. For me, it is a new identity for my artistry, for me as an artist.
Yes.
But the very process of going through that is a rebrand. So that for me, that's just a technical term. But for me, I feel like I'm coming into my own as an artist in a way that, not to say that I wasn't my authentic self before this, but I definitely feel like there was a growth that was happening, and that growth needed to express itself through a particular type of identity, I guess, so that's what that was about.
The name Jason Orpheus, how give us the insight. How did the name come on? There's the reason, but what about the name?
Okay.
Are you a big Matrix fan?
I am not. It actually had nothing to do with the Matrix. I know people have been saying Morpheus, but it had nothing to do with the Matrix.
I got Orpheus. But
no, so when I was a kid, I grew up in Mitchell's Plain, and the name of the road. Well, let me first say, when I was born, my government names, my second name was Jason.
Right, someone we didn't know. Okay.
And the road that I grew up in for about the first 5 years of my life was Orpheus Crescent. So when I went on this journey to find a name, because I wasn't going to just pick something that sounded cool, I wanted something. I do think Jason Orpheus sounds a little cool, but I wanted something that was rooted in meaning in my life, in a time when because my whole thing about the rebrand was a very deep, personal, existential journey, and I wanted to go back to a place as an artist that was pure, a place where music wasn't tainted by outside expectations anymore, where my writing process wasn't tainted by what I was expected to write. What was going to be popular, what was going to sit better with people, what was going to be more palatable, what was going to be more sellable. Because I think when there was a time when I'd gotten lost in that process, in discovering things about the industry and discovering how to navigate this industry as an artist from knowing nothing at all. And I wanted to go back to that place where when I was 16 years old and I was just putting pen to paper, the stuff that came out was raw. It was it was meaningful to me, and it wasn't written out of expectation. It was just written
for the pure enjoyment,
and
just something that came to you, and the passion that first driven us. There's so many artists and people that are in so many different industries. We remember the early days when they just started to dominate, and we could see the passion, whatever. Suddenly they're on top, almost nothing to lose. Where do you go from there? right
Yeah.
there, and then there's a certain expectation, and sometimes you can lose yourself along the way, lose
true.
what was the whole excitement in the first place.
It's true. And I think for me, when I finally settled on a time in my life when I felt like that, when you're a child, man, like you're a toddler, and you don't have to, you're carefree, you don't have to worry about anything, you haven't been molded yet or jaded by life or anything, then I was like, okay, well, I kind of like that name
Right.
that was given to me when I was a child, and that street I lived in was some of the happiest memories of my life, when my parents were still married, and everything was great, and so that's how I came up with Jason Orpheus.
Wow.
Incidentally, I found out after the fact that Orpheus was actually the Greek mythical god of music, and
It must be a sign.
it was crazy. I didn't even know that.
Man, if I were to use that formula, now I didn't grow up here. Where I grew up and born, this was in Heathfield, in Dover Road. So you said you took your middle name or second name?
Yes, second name and then street I grew
So
up in.
I'd be Lance Dover. Doesn't work. Maybe I should use that formula that strippers use. They say take your first pet's name or something like that, and the street you grew up on. Doesn't work for me either.
Oh wow, I would have been Duke Orpheus.
Coco Dover. Welcome to the stage. Oh man, but getting on to something serious now. I mean, last time we met, I've still been following you, and I'm still tripping on your single Bones.
Thank you very much, yo.
Right.
Thank you.
That was some time back, I know,
Yeah.
but I mean that was something really cool that came out.
Yeah.
I thought it deserved much more. But right now, since your rebrand, whatever, you've been very busy, so adamant on this new single that you've been pushing everywhere. I am actually like so honored that that you're here, and and so much also has been happening for you. You've also been pushing for the song, and I wish you all the best, and for to really get out there. I've been so fortunate through the years to have some people on the couch groups, etc. And we see this huge blow up, and some of my colleagues and friends say, "Yo, did you see this guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I interviewed him 3 years ago."
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's a few instances like that. Like, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
But now, tell us about now the origins and the story of this new single, Ghost. Before I get to that, do you actually play a bit of violin?
I do. So I actually played violin. I studied it for 5 years.
Wow.
And I wasn't too bad.
Right.
I will admit I wasn't too bad, but then I kind of lost it along the way. Like life took over, and I wasn't interested in the violin anymore.
It's a hard discipline.
It is. Look, I mean, I did it in high school, so I studied it there, but I wasn't too bad. I made it to like my grade 7 or something.
Right.
And when I left high school, we couldn't afford to buy a new violin. So then I went a long time without it, and eventually, I became like in my early 20s, and then I was interested in other things, and so I wasn't, But then with this whole rebrand, I was like, well, I really enjoyed playing the violin, and I want to get back into it, and it's been 20 years.
Right.
So now.
Okay, right now we are about to put up a photo right here of his fabulous photo shoot that took place at
The Rhodes Memorial.
Rose Memorial, where everyone loves to go. I mean, it's just the best views there, and you can just get awesome photos for any occasion. And I noticed how you were holding that that used looking kind of white violin, off-white violin.
Yes.
The one that's looked like it's been through a war. But it's been everywhere. And I just noticed your stance and your bow hold. I'm like, wait, that's legit, right? I'm like, okay, that's actually correct, because I see too many people hold it incorrectly and hold it like that.
Yeah.
And not the correct bow hold and things like that. So I was wondering how did this violin come in? So thank you for telling me that glorious insight. And then I saw it's also a very significant kind of symbol on the single.
It is. So the violin was something I definitely wanted to get back into again, and I have been. So I've I've got a tutor.
Okay.
Who's been teaching me to get back into the swing of things. A lot of stuff is muscle memory coming back.
Scales.
And in fact, I can do things now that I actually couldn't do back then. So I'm just perfecting it, polishing it up a bit before I actually decide to go public.
Oh yeah.
So because then you don't want to get that wrong.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I follow Acoustic Element. I think they're fantastic.
Yes,
I think
I do as well.
Fantastic. But that violin I made, well, kind of the white one. So I bought. I wanted a prop, but a playable prop. So I bought a cheap violin, sanded it down, stripped it completely, and then I started treating the wood with all kinds of stuff that you're supposed to use when you're treating violin wood.
Ooh, getting to some sacrilegious subjects now. You did
yeah,
what?
no, I know a lot of violinists would be like
The purists are gonna be like, oh, don't touch it.
But for me, it was a cheap violin. They wouldn't be seen dead playing it anyway. So then I thought, well, I'm going to.
Sometimes it just hurts to see one. But even me seeing a nasty saxophone, but I saw one completely bent and just trampled, squished. I'm like, it just hurts to see.
Oh wow! Well, I can imagine. I can honestly imagine. But I was like, this violin is so cheap, and I really want a playable prop for the photo shoot.
No, it was beautiful.
And so I was like, and you can't really find a decent white violin anyway because of the way that the violin is made. It can't really be white. There are processes that they've been using lately, technology processes for violins. I don't know what those sound like in comparison to traditional ones.
Especially for pure violins, I think they'll still they like to stick to traditional stuff, especially people who are classically trained. So I mean, that's understandable. Anything other than that would be something synthetic.
So to answer your other question, I actually do have a second violin, a much better violin, which I have not destroyed at all.
Don't come after me. I'll just asking questions. Yeah. But that is awesome. Awesome to know that you have actually a classical background in music. Now, getting back to my question about the single, the origins of that. What is the message? What is pertaining behind the single Ghost?
That was actually not supposed to be my first single I was going to release. But then I started writing. I had this melody in my head, and I started playing around with the piano keys of it, and then I started hearing this hum, and then I started writing. But it took me a long time to write stuff for it, but it was all during this period where I was still quiet, because I do believe, well, I'll get into that again, but I was quiet. I disappeared and I was playing around with the song, and then I decided, while I was busy with the song, I was destroying this violin at the same time, and everything was sort of becoming really symbolic for me. That's how this broken white violin ended up on the cover of the artwork, because it felt ghostly to me, man. And the song was yes, it comes across as this love song about having lost somebody and feeling like they're haunting you. But it was also a question of, for me, it was a deeper question of, am I blaming situations in life, people in life, for haunting me to this day? Or am I the one that's unwilling to move forward? I'm holding on out of fear of change.
Yep.
And that had to do with this whole thing I was going into with the rebrand and my identity as an artist, and working on this violin and writing the song at the same time, and so everything became interconnected where the broken violin ended up on the artwork of the song. And it was really about deconstruction for me and putting something back together again,
right?
And it looks different. And I think for me, the violin might have been some sort of physical embodiment of that, but it was really me. I think I was deconstructing and putting back together, knowing full well I wasn't going to look or feel the same as I did before. So that's how Ghost came around. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a melancholy song. It's written in E minor, and it's quite melancholy. So, but I wanted this to be I decided this was going to be the song I was going to release, to go with my awareness of brand change. It's not a pop song. It's certainly not a hit song. I don't think it is in terms of what radios play these days. But I felt that this was what I wanted to do, and it was more important to me to be authentic about that choice, and just sort of maximize as much as I could out of the song without too much expectation on it. So there's besides this song, there's a whole, I've got other stuff that I'm releasing continuously.
I was going to ask, if this is not the one that you want to release, how much more are you working on here?
There's a whole bunch of songs. So I've planned it out, and I will be releasing a couple of tracks this year.
Throughout this year, okay.
I'm looking toward the end of the year. I'm definitely, God willing, going to launch another EP.
Okay.
So the singles that I will be pushing out this year is just going to lead sort of like into that EP, and then there'll be other stuff on that EP as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of my 2024 plan, my long-term goal for 2024.
All right. And I was going to ask, what is your aspirations actually now from this point? When are we going to see maybe just a regional tour or something like that?
As soon as I get funding for it.
Reaching out.
I mean, those things are really expensive to do. If you're not forking it out of your own pocket, you have to apply for funding. And surprisingly, it's not that easy for artists in South Africa to get funding, right? So there's these ridiculous kind of loopholes.
Yeah.
It's one of my gripes with the institutes that financially support artists in South Africa. There's these ridiculous kind of loopholes that you have to jump through in order to qualify, and when you don't qualify for it, they do what everybody else does, and they tell you, sorry, you were unsuccessful, but they don't tell you what you could do to improve your chances.
It's a really tricky process, and there's always like a middleman. I mean, we spoke off camera as well about how just having resources of people, if you have something that you believe in, like his single, for example, who to contact, how do you get in contact with certain radio stations or people to publish, just to get some attention toward your music. It is so simple nowadays, damn near free, to put your stuff on YouTube, Deezer and iTunes, Apple, all of that. But and ask people, and send this message out, please go see this or view it or share it, something like that. That's the easy part. But to get the true attention, it really does take some work. But getting back to the one part of the question I just had before, what is your aspirations now as a musician, as an artist?
I think my aspirations is just to enjoy doing what I do.
Just enjoy doing what you do.
Like I mentioned to you earlier, I'm not chasing the dragon anymore.
Right.
I'm not chasing the fame monster anymore. I think it's an illusion, and I think that it's designed, for me, I felt it was designed to exhaust me and drive me nuts.
I think it's really after you like that.
Yeah, but for me, it's about getting to a place where I enjoy music again. And I think everything else will be a byproduct of that.
Okay.
I think success, I think fame, those things are byproducts of hard work and enjoying what you do.
But I think those are two different things as well, fame and success.
I do agree. You got me there.
Yeah, because that's also one of my, not philosophies, but one of the things I would want to reach for. Fame, that would be nice, sure, to because that'll probably bring me opportunities to work with other people I admire.
Yeah.
However, that's not at all what I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
Right? I just want to be successful.
Yeah.
And that is something totally different.
But then it's also, what do you define as successful for you? So for me, like I feel like being successful at what I'm doing means that I'm making decent money off of my music career.
Right.
And B, that I'm looking at bodies of work that I'm putting out there that I'm proud of.
I define it the same. If if I could, God willing, if if it's so, make a living out of it, by doing the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
And being known to like the people that I admire as, you know what, he's a good one. He's, I don't want to say one of us, whatever, but someone just respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it's to be someone that's looked upon as respected in the industry, someone who has something to offer and people want to receive what you have to offer. I think that in itself is a reward, to have a name that people respect, and I think that's also for me something that I would like to work toward. For me, that is a sign of my own personal success, is that I became somebody known to people in the industry and in life, that is respected,
Right.
and people have a high regard for. And I think for me, that is my personal aspects that I'm working towards, my goals. Make music that I feel authentic about, work toward, making a decent living off of my music and my career. And if I change people's lives, yay, awesome.
If I can make
awesome.
if I can make a difference to someone,
Yeah.
then that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get finished with a simple performance. Someone comes up to me and they say that's the most beautiful rendition, and they tell me about the family member who also maybe played saxophone, whatever.
Yeah.
Just that I connected them that way, then my job is done.
And the crazy amount of talent we have, particularly in the colored community, man. Look at you, you're a phenomenal saxophonist.
Please.
But you're also doing all these other things to reach out to your community, to show support to musicians within your own community. And for me, those are things that I respect in people.
Right.
I don't respect someone as an artist or musician necessarily because
Just in it for themselves?
they've made such a big name for themselves, or because they are in the newspaper every other day, or just because they're generally well known nationally. That doesn't garner respect for me.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful, and it's certainly motivating.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I respect what they do. My heroes are the people that touch other people's lives on a daily basis. So thank you.
No, I made it about me. Please, man. Look, I do appreciate that. It is something I am passionate about. Not just also necessarily musicians, but just like the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
The end of last year, I was at this huge kind of fashion show thing that I got on board with because this guy that I came to know is extremely passionate about it, and he put together this huge production. It wasn't just a fashion show, like a runway thing. It was a production.
Yeah.
Everything had a scene to it. Everything had a different kind of theme, and everything had to work like clockwork and had to flow like that. And to see him work like that, and how many people are behind him. Every time I spoke to someone or interviewed someone just out of the audience, or maybe one of the people that he's working with, everyone took the opportunity to thank the dude.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, man. And he said, no, this is only like my third one. I'm like, holy cow.
And I think that's because this man probably touched people's lives in a meaningful way, man.
The dude's barely even 25. He's 20 something. He's 23 or something like that. I'm like, man, I was 23. I only did like my first Music in Motion. I've been doing this like for 10 years now. I did a show every year of the best artists I've worked with, and he just when he came to my show last year, and you were sitting in the front, I'm like, oh man, because I've seen what he puts together. I'm doing it at a little community hall here, but I mean, he came to me, he's like, dude, like your program, whatever, the music was like top quality. This has to be in Baxter and all that. I'm like, aspirations, we'll get there, God willing. Yeah. But I remember us talking about in our podcast 2 years ago about how to work on social media and all that. Now, how can people still follow you closely on your journey with this aspiration of your other EPs and that coming out, with the other singles and that coming out? Besides Ghost, what can people expect to still find on your page? Are you still active?
So my everything's changed. So my YouTube has changed to Jason Orpheus, and all my social media platforms have changed to Jason Orpheus. But I've got music out there that still has my name, still has Ladeem attached to it, man.
Yeah.
Like music videos, for example, that still have Ladeem in the actual intro of the videos.
You're right.
So so that's why on my stuff I say, you know, artist formerly known as, just until, you know, everything gets ironed out, you know, so people don't get confused. But the music moving forward, I'm very much into a sort of piano sound that comes with like sort of Afro infusions, and strings, violins. So that's sort of going to be staple elements in a lot of the music that's going to come out now. Yeah,
that is, I can get on board with that. I can't. I can't recall like many things that I've done that didn't first start out that with piano and strings and stuff. But I, you know, try to keep things kind of modern as well. Have the Severo Music Studios kind of a vision on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. Again, your activeness on your social media. Can people still follow you? And where to find the new single and how to support?
Yes, so as usual, I'm on all the social media platforms. I'm getting more into TikTok these days. So there's a lot of videos that's coming out on TikTok. I have a website, www.jasonorpheus.com. And on there you can find podcasts, you can find out more about me. And currently you can find my music on Spotify. You can find Ghost on my Spotify profile, Jason Orpheus. So give that a listen, please. Let's pick up those streams. And follow me on social media, particularly TikTok, because I got a lot of interviews that's coming out there, and I get to talk more about this personal journey.
Yeah. This video doesn't come out till about a week later, but I see less than a day ago he has a whole lot of interviews with radio stations. One that came out, was it a good one that you posted just yesterday?
Oh, that was Smile FM.
Oh, Smile FM.
Yeah,
my mistake. But I mean, radio interview nonetheless. This is getting all of his attention, and he'd like your attention as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Orpheus here in Severo Music Studios. I'm looking forward to the day that everyone says, "Hey, have you seen this guy, Jason Orpheus?" I'll say, "Yeah, I've interviewed the guy."
I didn't. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just found out that Ghost is number 8 on the Mzansi top 10 for Radio KC in Paul.
A round of applause wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. To have achievement in numbers like that is something that's relevant, something that we all strive for. When something, you know, that we're proud of is actually getting the attention and is voted on a chart anywhere, it is absolutely an achievement and something to be proud of. Support your locals, ladies and gentlemen. I can guarantee you, I always say this, any person who is an artist, I can guarantee they have a page. Don't wait till they get famous until you start supporting them. We need them. We need you guys, you know, when we're on our journey. And you know, you may get a mention in our book or something when it's all at the end.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think especially in today's digital age,
it's easy to find. Yeah,
just liking someone, clicking on that, it costs you nothing.
Costs you nothing,
know, but it makes the other person feel really great.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we live on approval like that. Where we have a low self-esteem, and when we see 2 shares, we're like, "Hey, my life is good." Life is good. Signing out from the studio, I have Jason Orpheus, and here performing live, we have Ghost. So until next time, you know what it is, guys. One rhythm, one life. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
On and on. Why won't you leave me? every memory. I smell the scent of your perfume. Nothing haunts me like you do. But I know you're never coming back to me. You'll never leave the kiss that cling to me. Our love is dead and gone. Your ghost still lingers on. Or is it me who can move on? You speak to me. Ooh. I know you hurt me. Tell me why I hold on to fleeting silhouettes of you, and said and done. Am I the one still holding on? When I know you're never coming back to me. You'll never leave the kiss.
This is Jason Orpheus performing my single Ghost live at Severo Music Studios. One rhythm, one life.